Please forgive me, but your remodeling business will never be great like Eddie Murray was.
Hello, this is the HackHour Podcast, a show where it's all about helping real, everyday, hard-working remodelers learn the secrets to having it all in life and business. And now, here's your host, Mike Minges.
Most remodelers aren't running a business. They're running themselves ragged. And the harsh truth, your business isn't great because you're not preparing for success. Just like Eddie Murray worked hard to be a legend, you could too. But will you? The reality is most of you won't. Welcome to episode 33 of the HackHour Podcast. Look, today's episode is special, not just because it's episode 33, but because I want to add a story about one of my favorite childhood baseball players, Eddie Murray. Growing up, I was a Baltimore Orioles fan. I had an aunt that lived near Memorial Stadium, and she would take me to the games. I can remember back then you used to have access easily to the dugouts and the warm-up areas, and if you got to the game early, the players would come up, they'd sign your glove, they'd autograph a ball, hand it to you. It was amazing. So I got to watch Eddie Murray up close and personal for many years as a fan. And Eddie Murray, or as you may have heard him referred to as Steady Eddie, he wasn't flashy. He wasn't an especially amazing defensive player. And look, first base is considered a somewhat easy defensive position for some compared to other positions. But for 21 seasons, general managers across the league would have done anything to have Eddie on their team. Why? Because Eddie was disciplined. He wasn't just good, he was consistently excellent. He worked on his weaknesses relentlessly. Look, he even taught himself how to bat from both sides of the plate, left and right-handed. An incredible achievement that gave him an edge in almost any pitching matchup. Look, his stats tell just part of his story. 504 career home runs, 1,917 RBIs. He was 11th on the all-time list, and the major league record for sacrifice flies. See, but what made Eddie truly great wasn't just numbers. It was his mindset. He thrived in high-pressure situations. He was considered a clutch hitter, right? He hit .399 with the bases loaded and boasted a career on-base percentage of 1.127 in those moments. What set Eddie apart wasn't talent alone, right? It was his preparation, his discipline, and his ability to rise to the occasion. The reason that he could rise to the occasion was because he had the confidence. He knew he put in the hard work. He knew that behind the scenes, he was disciplined, he practiced. And he knew that when the crunch time came and when the pressure was on, that all he had to do was just go out and perform just like he has been practicing day in and day out for years. See, he would study pitchers. He'd anticipate their moves. He'd adjust his approach. He wasn't just a player. He was a leader, and he elevated everyone around him. Eddie's greatness was rooted in his willingness to do the unglamorous work, right? He did not crumble under pressure because he prepared for his moments. And this is where I start to see the parallels with remodeling business owners and where the tough love begins. See, just like Eddie Murray, many of you have stepped up to the plate by starting your own remodeling business. That takes courage, and I respect that. It's something not everyone dares to do, right? Many dream, but few take the action. Now, here's a hard truth. Most remodeling business owners are not preparing themselves for the big moments, right? Many of you aren't running a business. You're running yourselves ragged, right? You're in firefighting mode every day, reacting to problems rather than anticipating them. You're blaming everyone. You're focused on being great at your craft often, but you're neglecting like being great at the business. You don't have systems, you don't have strategies, and you don't have the leadership skills that separate the average remodeler from the exceptional business owner. Eddie Murray didn't rely solely on his natural talent. He worked on his weaknesses. He mastered situational hitting and prepared himself for all the high-pressure moments. How many of you are doing the same in your business? How many of you are working behind the scenes, getting better at sales, learning how to advertise and market, right? Are you working on the areas where you're the weakness, like your financial management, your team leadership, or your client communication skills? Or are you crossing your fingers and just hoping for the best? See, let me be blunt. Most remodeling businesses today, you're just a glorified independent contractor at best. You're not running a company. You're running a job, and you run one job after the next, right? And that's fine if that's all you want. But if you have dreams of growing a business, of supporting yourself, supporting others, leading a team, earning more, and spending less time like in the weeds and overwhelmed, you need to start thinking and acting like a real business owner. And here's where I need to ask for forgiveness, right? Sometimes when I'm coaching or working with someone, I project my own potential and drive onto them. See, I see what's possible for your remodeling business, right? If it was run by someone like me, someone with the right mindset, someone who's disciplined, right? And if they were in your shoes, I see all the success. Where you see obstacles, I see the opportunities. And that is only possible because I was once at a place where I was struggling. And by learning to overcome those obstacles and then recognizing that, wow, I know how to do this. Let me help some others. And when I've helped them, you get to a place where you recognize that, wow, this is really available to anyone, right? It's not going to be for everyone, but it is available to anyone who's willing to dive in. And for some of you, that may not be fair. You may not like to hear that. Maybe the reality is I see more success in you than many of you see in yourself right now. And that can be frustrating because for a lot of you, I recognize that just on the other side of your fear and your resistance to change is the success that you know you want. You may not talk about it because you're embarrassed, right? And you'll say, nah, I'm fine where I'm at. This is how it should be. I don't need all that. But deep down, you want it. You know you do. And you're just too afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. But I tell you this, systems, strategies, and coaching that I've shared with other remodelers have transformed businesses that were once stuck in chaos. And look, the same can be true for you if you're willing to drop the ego and put in the work. I want to share something with you called the Pygmalion effect. It's the idea that people often perform to the level of the expectations placed on them. See, when I coach remodelers, I see their potential and I expect great things. But if I don't believe, right, and if you don't believe in yourself, or if you aren't willing to rise to the occasion, then my expectations, they won't mean a thing. And here's the other side of the coin. Many remodelers think, right, that their situation is so unique that no one could possibly help solve these types of problems, right? You blame the economy. You blame your clients, your team. The reality is this. Most of the time, the root problem will trace all the way back to you. So, if you're sitting there frustrating, struggling to grow, and blaming everyone else, ask yourself, what am I doing to prepare for success? Because let me tell you, no one else is going to save you. Success doesn't come to the unprepared. Now, let's go back to Eddie Murray, right? Here are 3 lessons that you could take from Steady Eddie and apply directly to your remodeling business today. first, work on your weaknesses. Look, Eddie didn't just stick to what he was good at, right? He learned to bat from both sides. Originally, he could only bat from the one side, right? In your business, this might mean that you improve some of your financial management skills, right? Maybe you need to work on learning to lead a team. You know how to do the job yourself, but you're struggling with building a team effectively, right? Many of you, it's learning, you got to create a better client communication system, a whole process. And even the thought of that is frustrating a lot of you. You just don't I don't want to be bothered. I just want to get on this site and work. Why does everyone have to talk to me? Well, here's the reality, big boy. Learning how to communicate is something that is required by a successful business owner. And if you're too afraid to learn how to communicate, then bring someone into your business and let them take that role, right? Have them be the communicator, your project manager, your salesperson. 3, elevate your team. Look, Eddie wasn't just a great player. He was a great teammate. People wanted to be around Eddie, right? As a remodeler, your success isn't just about you. It's about how well you lead those who join this mission and they get on your team, they work with you. It's how you empower your employees, and it's how you communicate with your clients and how they feel about having you as the person who's going to remodel their home for them. So, here's the question. Are you really finally this year, for the first time, maybe you've been thinking about it for years, but this year, are you ready to step up, right? So here's the tough question. Are you just running your business like a professional, or are you showing up and hoping just for the best? What is it? See, imagine a remodeling business where your projects are on schedule. Your team knows exactly what to expect of them, right? Your clients are thrilled because you've set the bar high. You know how to achieve it. That's the business you could have if you're willing to do the work. Smart business owners invest in themselves. They get the coaching, they learn the systems, they surround themselves with people who've been where they want to go. If you're not doing that, it's time to ask yourself why. So, here's my challenge to you. As many of you are seeing, we are offering the 5-day remodeling challenge. This is a great opportunity for you to get in and see what is possible for your business. So stop sitting in frustration. Start building the business you've always dreamed of. Look, if you're ready to rise to the occasion, we're here to help. And if you're not quite ready yet, that's okay. But just know this, when you are, we will still be here, ready to guide you to the success that we know is possible for you. Final thought. Look, Eddie Murray didn't become a legend by accident, right? He wasn't just special in some way, that he had to actually work for it, right? He prepared. That is what made him special. He worked, he thrived under pressure because he knew he was prepared. He knew he put in the hard work when others weren't watching. And you could be the Eddie Murray of the remodeling business. You could have all the success, right? You have to ask yourself, are you willing to put in the training, right? Will you? I don't know. So thanks for listening to episode 33. I hope this message challenges you, inspires you, and gives you the nudge you need to step into your full potential. If you're ready to take the next step, come on over to the Remodeling Academy and let's talk. And if not, keep this episode in your back pocket and it'll be there when you are ready to move again. So until next time, stay disciplined, stay focused, keep building something great.
Thank you for listening to the HackHour Podcast. It would be awesome if you would leave us a quick review on iTunes. To further your remodeling success, go to remodelingriches.com.